That'd be absolutely devastating.
Oh! This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this podcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo'S Wrestling Room. Thursday, May 18th, 2023. Doing one a little bit later in the week this week because myself, wasn't feeling good on Monday.
Yep.
But I'm Chris Gonzo'S, joined by Tony Gonzalez and Marcus Fine. How's it going, guys?
Doing good.
Yeah, going pretty well.
I'll let you go so I can finish sharing this.
Okay. Okay. Well, what we're going to talk about this week, we're going to go over things that happened a couple weeks ago with WCWO Comic Con, because last Monday's show Chris was airing matches and stuff from Comic Con. Like what was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of last week, and then of course this Monday we planned on talking about the BEARCAT Rumble and stuff. And Chris was ill, so we'll jump into that also. So, Marcus, have you got to watch any of the Comic Con stuff that we put up?
Yeah, I've watched some. I go through it when I got a chance.
Yeah, I understand. Well, some of the things I kind of broke things down in days, and things that stood out to me. One of the first things was I talked to you about immediately. I think even on Friday night after the thing, because I had never got to see. I had seen TJ work before, but I'd never seen Etch work before, and I was just blown away how good they both are and were and still are. Etch was outstanding the whole weekend, and especially Friday, right out of the gate once he wrestled on Friday, was just really stood out to me. One of the matches some of the matches that stood out. Brody and Max Sterling was one of the early matches that really stood out to me. I thought it was really good. Rachel and the Russian, of course, Rachel doing that Canadian Destroyer off the top rope definitely stood out on day one. Also day one, when Jordan James came on the scene for his first match, just killed it with the crowd on mic, with the Comic-Con crowd. Thought that was really good. Some other really big matches that were really good was we got new WCWO tag champs, VIP, that night. Dex Royal and Dutch Boy had another great match. They've had a bunch of great matches as of late. I thought that was outstanding. Hidari and Congo Kong and highlight reel. And then, of course, that night was closed out by IK3 and Rachel, which I thought was an outstanding match. Them last three matches were up there for matches of the weekend. Maybe all three of them were. They're really outstanding matches. So that was kind of my thoughts on day one. Chris, what'd you think?
Oh, no, I thought WCW at Comic-Con was awesome. There was a lot of good matches on day one. You covered basically all of them. You had, like you said, Rachel and the Russian on Friday night when I think that was the second show on Friday, if I remember correctly. She done that Canadian Destroyer. Also, wait a minute, make sure I'm looking at the right one. I guess that was on Friday night. For some reason, I was thinking that was Saturday.
What was that?
Congo and Hidari versus the highlight reel.
We were there so many hours. They kind of got to go together.
Yeah.
So you got to
just the crowd's reaction when Congo came out. I won't forget, just because a lot of the fans there wasn't necessarily pro wrestling fans. Yep. Some of them were seeing live pro wrestling for the first time when they saw Congo come out that curtain. I think they were a little surprised about how big he was and did some of the stuff that he can do, especially when he went up on top rope. And then IK3 and Rachel put on a heck of a show that Friday night in the main event that Friday night. That was an awesome match.
Yeah, it was great. And like I said, Dex and Dutch Boy killed
Dex
it
and
too.
Dutch again.
That was really good. You mentioned about Congo coming out. I wonder what kind of reactions Congo might get just walking into a Walmart. I mean, I know you don't have the makeup on and stuff, but
Well, I was going to say, if you don't have his makeup on, you don't know who it is.
I mean,
So,
this is just a big dude. I mean, he's just a really huge dude.
And don't forget, Friday night we were over at the Dub at a full house as well. So, and that was 2 weeks ago. I can't tell you what the matches was. I do know Rachel and the Russian did wrestle over there. So that must have meant she did her match there, came over to the Dub, and then went back to do the main event.
Yes.
But you seen the Dub because you guys came over when you got done.
Yeah, and had a good crowd there, and you said it was a strong show there too. So I mean, it's amazing that you can run shows simultaneously. I don't know what, Chris, 10 minutes apart, maybe, if that.
Oh, if that, yeah, you're talking about maybe a mile and a half.
Yeah, it's like a mile and a half, I think, what Joey said. So
I think you need to take a chop from Congo.
No, we're not doing that either.
He don't have a big enough chest. His hand's too big.
He's bigger. He hit my chest, my stomach, and
his arms. And
no, I'm not the fool that gets in the ring and takes chops. That's you. That's your job. I'm the fool that puts my head in trunks. Okay, that's my thing. Yours is okay. On day 2 of the Comic-Con, a lot of great matches, man. When you hear this list of matches on day 2, it's really kind of phenomenal. Early on, you had G.W.R and Brody Botkins. You had Rachel and Dutch Boy, Highlight Reel, Savage Love, Adari and Brody Botkins. Blake Wright versus Dalton Love. That was a WCWO title match. The main belt is the Outlaw Championship, right? Yeah, he's the Outlaw Champion. Zay Gates versus IK3. Zay versus Blake Wright. Adari versus Jake Oman. Jake Oman versus Hillbilly Jed. The Beaver Boys versus Savage Love. That was just on Saturday. And that's not all the matches. That's just some of the matches. But the main event match that night was JKO, IK3, and Max Sterling versus G.W.R and the Highlight Reel, which was outstanding. It might be my favorite match of the weekend, and it's right up there for match of the year. There's a bunch of matches on here that's going to be up on that list looking at match of the year because there was a lot of great matches, but you just the matches I listed off could have been main event. Just one of them could have been main event anywhere, and you had 1, 2, 3,
6 of them.
Maybe 10 matches there. It was just Saturday was really outstanding. Chris, what do you think?
Saturday was outstanding. That main event match with the Highlight Reel and Dex and JKO and IK3 and them was awesome. Savage Love and the Beaver Boys that night was also real good. It wasn't a bad match. And then there was another one. Getting to see Jake Oman and Hillbilly Jed. That was a match I don't know if I ever thought I would see.
Yeah,
and it was cool getting to see 2 of the legends like that go at it.
If I look hard enough, I think I have a photo of them 2 wrestling back in the EWF and Converse. So, and that was like a dozen years ago. I'll have to look.
Another big match that stood out there, Adara and Jake Oman. Adara getting that big win, and it was just a really good match. Oman working the crowd was fantastic. Pissing off Walter was fantastic. So that just added to it for me and you.
Oh man,
little insight there, but
he was mad.
He was upset.
That was a real good one. See, that's Sunday. I got so many of them wrote down here. They start to run together.
That's why I did it by. Made sure I did it by day.
Well, I had them wrote down by day, but I ran out of page. G.W.R and Brody Botkins put on a real good match earlier that day as well.
Yeah, very good.
And Dutch Boy Platinum and Rachel was a good one. There's a lot of good ones. Savage Love. I'll tell you what. Hadari had a great weekend there. He was he was loved by
he was
a crowd favorite from day one.
I mean, every time the highlight reel comes out in G.W.R, they got that charisma. The crowd feeds off of it pretty good. But probably the guy of the weekend really might have been Hadari. Of course, Rachel was really loved, but Hadari really was strong. Another guy that wasn't because he's not a fan favorite. We played a heel the whole weekend, but to me was one of the MVPs. Wrestled a lot of matches. Of course, I'm forgetting his name, so I'm going to have to look at my list here. Brody Bodkins. Just match after match after match, man. Was really strong with his heel work and his in-ring action. Unfortunately, he just had some surgery to repair some stuff, but hopefully he'll be back soon and be healthy. Good wishes out to him. Most definitely. Okay, on day 3, a match that I didn't know that we would ever see was ladies man Mike King and Jackson Morgan. And that was a strong match. It was real good. Dalton Love versus Max Sterling was really good. Team that I haven't got. Well, I've seen Scarecrow before, but I hadn't seen his tag team partner Split Rail. Got to see the Cornfield Mafia, and I was impressed with them. Thought they looked really good. I was really impressed. Had Dalton Love versus Jackson Morgan. Had Blake Wright against Cousin Cooter. That was one of my favorite matches of the weekend. A lot of good comedy stuff, a lot of good action. It was really good. I really enjoyed that. Then speaking of the Cousin Cooter, had him and Hadari and Jackson Morgan. Again, just very entertaining. The crowd loved it. It was really good. Luke Savage and Dalton Love did a great job. Really good match. Blake Wright, Logan Myers. Another match that could have been match of the weekend, maybe the best match. It could be a match of the year candidate, definitely for sure there. And then the main event, highlight reel against Dex and Zay with JKO special ref. That was very good. Also a great match. Like I said, really enjoyed the weekend. Thought it was a great time. I thought they killed it. I thought they knocked it out of the park. Another MVP was Dalton. I think he put up his title about 4 or 5 times, defending his title, plus had other matches that wasn't with the title. So I thought he did a great job. I thought all DCCW staff, I thought they did a fantastic job. I don't think any mistakes were really made. They made a couple little changes here and there once they got there and seen what they were dealing with. But again, they knocked it out of the park.
No, I agree. One match on Sunday you didn't mention, Savage versus Love. That was a real good one.
Yeah, I mentioned it.
Oh, did you? I just didn't hear you. That was a real good match. Seeing them two go at it, you see them as tag team so much, and then seeing them two guys go at it was good. And then the main event was awesome. Of course, being a tribute to Don Basher, and then you had Mike King come out and try to jump on JKO, who was the special guest referee, and then the other 4 guys and JKO all came off the top rope on the Mike King.
Yeah,
and it was
that 400 frog splashes.
But it was a pretty good. It was a good way to end the weekend.
A lot of people enjoyed that.
I didn't think I'd ever see JKO do a frog splash,
no,
but
I didn't either. I didn't expect that.
But I guess it's when you're at Comic-Con, you can see things that you don't always think you'd see.
Yeah, but we learned a lot doing that. It was awesome having a second camera, being able to have that. I thought that was. I really hate just having one camera now. So to be honest with you, but it was awesome. The other things I learned, hotel room, bringing food with you.
Oh, he was about ready to die on the one day.
Well, they changed the times of the shows, man. I was about ready to have a.
He's like, we gotta go eat.
We gotta go eat, or I'm gonna kill somebody. Me being starved is not a good thing.
He thought he was going to dwindle away to nothing over there.
I don't know about all that, but I got enough fat to survive. That don't mean I'm gonna be in a good mood about it.
And then we go to try to eat, and we go to Steak and Shake. They they shut the kitchen down. We can't get
Yeah.
no food, so then we have to go somewhere else.
Well, we went to Circle Center Mall, and then first thing I seen was we seen a Cajun place. I looked down and it's closed. It's no longer there. So the Cajun, and then there was another place right next to it that would have been right up my alley, type of food I like. It was
hot chicken
place. It was closed. It's no longer there. So I'm like, and then we're looking at the lines, and I'm like, we're going to be here forever. But luckily, the place had a line, but it went pretty quick. So. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really great weekend, and had a good time. Then again, they knocked it out, man. They knocked it out of the park. I don't know how they're going. They will, because I know WCWO, and I know Joey and his crew. They'll top it next year. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I have faith in that they will. Okay, moving on. We were at DCCW BEARCAT Rumble this past Saturday. And Marcus, go to you. What did you think of that show?
Oh, fantastic. Every match was a main event from the start to the finish. And when you start out with Logan Myers and Zay Gates right out of the bat, and then Zay pinning him with an upset, I feel.
Yep.
That's the best way to start the show. So, and the midgets in the cage with Dice Man, and hilarious.
Yeah, very good. Stuff. In your opinion, what was your match of the night?
Well, I actually got two of them. Okay. I thought the cage match between Dalton, Luke, Justin Terrell, and Christian Cash was one of my top ones. Christian Cash being a heel was very good. Terrell always tormenting me, but no matter where I'm at in the building, he makes sure I make eye contact with him. And then I thought the match between the highlight reel and Dex and IK3, that was just as hard hitting as you can get. Yes. And like you said, to see the highlight reel basically not having an offensive move the entire time. Mind you, when the Road Warriors took on Bruiser and Crusher, they just didn't know what to do with them. So I think that was my favorite. I agree with you about the Justin Terrell match. That was really good too. Loved the midget match. Another match that I really enjoyed was the BEARCAT Rumble. Yeah, the Rumble was fantastic too. Yeah.
I thought it was done really well. Like you said, there wasn't a bad match on the show. I mean, it was really, really good. Brody Botkins and Jackson Morgan and Adari was another really good match that was on the show.
Those guys tore the ring up. Literally tore the ring up.
Yeah, definitely did. So I thought it was a great show for a great cause. I talked to AJ. I know there was over 200 people that paid, probably pretty close to 250 paid admission. I know there was 30 kids that they kept track of that was let in for free. I do know, you have other people come in. So I'm going to say definitely overall crowd, because you have wrestlers get +1 and things like that. Definitely over 300 people there.
Yeah, and the tables were sold out too.
Yeah, the tables were sold out. Great sponsor. I think it was Hubler. Was a great sponsor for them, and they had many great sponsors that I know that AJ and Muncie Central and DCCW has thanked. So I thought it was a really great show. Thought they did a great job, especially running in town, and had another promotion run the same night. I heard they had similar results, probably close to that amount of people. So, you kind of split the crowd a little bit, but I thought it was a fantastic show.
No, I thought it was a real good show. Kelly says Mike King sucks.
Kelly actually is right there tonight. Normally she's in the other room, but she's right here because she had to drop the grade kids off. So,
well,
Justin sucks.
Yeah, well, Kelly got a special dance a little bit with the ladies' man that night.
Well, I can't fight her. She's in there. There she is.
Hey.
Yeah, we're just lucky that Mike King wore his pants this year.
Oh, no
Could you imagine if he done that last year? Yeah. White legs, he'd probably be blinded to this day.
Yeah, we've been blind too because we were right in the middle there too. Billy Buzz, that ring did take a huge beating. You're right.
Yeah, it did, because they racked it from one side to the other, and Tony thought he heard something break on it. And
yeah, I heard something loud during that match, and then next thing you know, they was out there working on the ring for a few minutes.
You got three big dudes like that, and
they were going into them corners, man, and they were going hard, man. Chris, what'd you think of the show?
No, I thought it was a real good show. Like always, pretty much what we've come to expect from DCCW or WCWO North.
Yep, that's true.
But I really like the matches, like you guys said. I thought of course, I'm gonna go blank once I start talking about it.
I've got them all down here in order. I got them in order.
The IK3 Dex Royal and the highlight reel match was. I agree with you guys, but then another match that I liked was the main event with the ladies' man Mike King, Coach Bradley, the King Mitchell Taylor, and JKO. I thought they put on a heck of a show. A couple times there was so much going on, it made it a little hard to keep track of everything, especially like from our standpoint with just having the one camera. Trying to get everything was a little difficult on that one.
Fighting on the outside, fighting in the locker room, then what was going on in the cage, and all them people fighting the Mountain Man, trying to get in the rest of the. There you go. I knew Tony's girlfriend was on.
But yeah, but no, it was. I thought it was a real good show, and then Logan Myers and Zay Gates to kick off the show. I thought was a great. I agree with Marcus. That was a great way to kick the show off. Zay Gates just keeps getting better. He just keeps getting better and better.
I hate to go back to the Comic-Con, but real quick, Zay's another one that stood out at Comic-Con and wrestled really well. He's on fire right now too, and getting all kinds of bookings and
taking on Jordan James tomorrow for the Gunslinger Championship. The dub.
That's true. But a lot of people are reaching out to him, and he's getting more and more bookings, which he should get. Because he's really, really put in the work and really, really improving. So, and a young guy, I don't know if is he. I don't think he's 20, is he, Chris?
No, he's 19. He just turned 19.
19. He's turned 19. So I mean, bright future. Working hard and as nice as kid as you want to meet. I mean, just super nice. Real good guy. Can't say that enough.
No, the Bearcat Rumble, you guys are right. It was real entertaining too. Some of the stuff they done with some of the kids and stuff. It was just it was real entertaining. And so I saw IK3 knock. I thought he knocked the one dude out. That trainee from the dub, dude. Yeah, when he hit him with a couple of them forearms. And if you watch the video back, you can see the guy's head actually snap back and hit that turnbuckle.
I seen it live. I noticed it live, and then I showed you on video. I said, "Chris, watch this."
But yeah,
and that's the same one I think that took all the chops too.
Yeah, it was the same one. That,
and ring announcer Tim got in there. He was Rumble ready, and he did very well. So
yeah, that was cool to see Tim there.
And the other guy used to be the announcer? He's I'm having a brain fart.
He's be an announcer.
He's WCWO. He's one of the commissioners.
Reggie,
talking crap. Reggie, Tim will kill you. Tim will destroy you. You better be quiet.
Yeah. I guarantee the fans at the Dub would like to see Tim get a hold of Reggie on one Friday night.
I got a feeling that's going to happen sooner or later.
Oh yeah, it will.
Tim said he got up feeling tough, and he did a pretty good job. I have to give him credit.
You gonna be an entrant in the Rumble next year?
No, I think our cameraman wants to.
I think actually, he said if he was ready, he would have done it.
He's big enough.
He thinks actually what he'd like to do is be in the Rumble, but he wants to be on camera and come from camera and go.
Like Jerry Lawler did. And
yes,
that'd be fantastic.
Especially if we had a roving camera, have somebody switch off with him and him just get in the ring. I think that would be.
You need to bring that up. That can work next year. I guarantee it.
Well, he says he wants to get in shape a little bit, and he'd like to do it. So, and that's.
The King did use Kelly's cane on Mike King.
That's true. Mike King wasn't happy about that either.
What's up, Kevin? We'll see you tomorrow.
Kevin. Everybody wants to see Tim and Reggie
Oh yeah. I'd like to see Tim. It wouldn't bother me if he. I don't want him to hurt Reggie. Maybe just punch him in the throat where he couldn't talk no more.
Don't want to hurt him. I just don't want to be able to talk no
He
more.
doesn't want to bite him in the throat.
I mean, just not talking anymore. I mean, nothing. I mean, he could still work and provide for his family. His wife would probably like if he couldn't talk no more.
Yeah, that could be a good point.
So I mean, that's a win-win for everybody.
She might make Tim a cake if he makes that possible. Reggie not being able to talk.
I'm sure JKO would be happy with that.
Big Pete.
Big Pete would love it.
Yep. And Brian Cranville, who's taking over Big Pete, I'm sure he'll be happy to shut up Reggie. So
yeah.
Sorry, Brian Clark.
Yeah, but I think, and what you said too, the interaction, having the wrestlers involved, they do in DCCW, and also I know AJ was involved with that too. They do a really good job of interacting with the fans and doing stuff like that. So they do real good. And speaking of that, the fans, a big show coming up June 17th here in Muncie, Indiana. Juneteenth, 4:00 bell time is what I've been told. It's going to be at McCullough Park, and it's a free show. I know the Juneteenth, I know normally they have some free food for people who can get in line, and they have hot dogs and hamburgers. They also have food vendors and other
free food. They say.
Yep, usually other vendors and performances of dancing and singing and all kinds of. It's a really cool festival. If people haven't been, it's a very good event. It's all free, except some food vendors and things. And I think there's people that may set up and sell some things, items and stuff. But as far as getting in and stuff like that, it's free. The wrestling show's 100% free.
All right, let me ask you something.
Okay.
I want to know why they hound you about free. There's got to be a story behind that.
That started when they did the very first show, and they asked how much tickets were, and I got on the thing and said 100% free, and Terry's never forgot that. So we knock it until we knock it till we can't stand it anymore about being free. So that's what that is. Terry just loves it.
This be the third year in a row.
Yeah, third year in a row.
Another thing we need to bring up with the BEARCAT, you had 3 promotions come together.
Yes.
And all the promoters involved with those 3 promotions, AACW, Shane Kauser, Justin Terrell, DCCW, you had Terry Coons and Mike King, you had WCWO with Joey Owens. They were all there and came together to put on one heck of a show for that. So
it's very true. Yeah,
so
yeah,
they prove out there
a great job.
Those promotions can work together. So
yeah, and they have been recently, we've been to, you was there, of course, Kokomo. We've seen some talents from WCWO, DCCW there. So you're seeing that crossover more and more, and I think that'll continue, and hopefully even more. So more of it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the 17th, and they've got some other big shows. They got a big show they've announced in Jay County, Monday, July 10th. Yes, Demolition, Powers of Pain, not Flying Brian, but Brian Pillman Jr., Al Snow, and Congo Kong. There's a lot of names.
Ari Alexander,
plus all the great DCCW talent. Man, it's going to be a heck of a show. If I remember correctly, front row tickets are $25. I think also down on the grandstand close to the ring is $20. And I think the grandstand seats, if I remember right, are $10. They could be $15, but you can go to jcountyfair.com and get all that information. I'm not going to guarantee you on the grandstand seats.
You probably can buy tickets at
jcountyfair.com. Yeah, you can buy tickets there. Going to be a great show. So that's definitely one. I know they got one they've announced. They haven't announced any talent yet. That's a Wednesday, August the 2nd. Going to be in Gaston, Indiana, which is 10 minutes from here, 15,
something like that, 15, 20 minutes
from Muncie. So that's going to be another fantastic fantastic show too. So, and I know
that's also at the fair at the Gaston
at the Gaston Fair. There, I think it'll be in the grandstand. I believe
opening night of the fair.
Yep, I believe it'll be in the grandstand if I remember what Terry had said. And they said they got a couple of names, couple of surprises for that. So they haven't. They ain't even told us yet. So, but they do have it set up, and it's not something we can announce anyway at this time. But so they got some big stuff coming up. DCCW is doing great. I know we got WCWO's got the Don Basher weekend coming up. I forget exactly what they call that.
Don Basher Memorial, Basher Mania.
Yeah.
Couple. I've heard it called both.
Okay, so that's coming up very soon, a month or so. So that's going to be fantastic. Also, this no, not this Friday, but next Friday they got the big show coming up there. And matter of fact, I think me and Chris are going to try to the 27th AACW.
WCWO does have a show this Friday.
Yeah, they do every Friday.
It's just not their end of the month
show. End of the month show, but
Chairs of Insanity.
Yes. Marcus, what does that?
Well, if I understood right, it's going to be between Blake Money Right and IK3, and it's called Chairs of Insanity. And if I understood the way they explained it, no pinfall, submission, count out, anything can happen until all 20 chairs are used on each other, and then they can start thinking about trying to win. So there's going to be 20 chairs, and they've all got to be used before they can even begin the pin or submit. And with IK3 and Blake Money Right, you know that's going to be a heck of a hard hit. I'm sure that's the main event, because how can you top that?
Yeah, that's going to be a hard hitting war with them two.
Yes, most definitely.
And then Kokomo ACW has their big show with and again you're going to see a lot. You're going to see basically DCCW, WCWO, and ACW all together.
Mike King matches.
Mike King's going to be there in a cage match against JKO.
A few that won't end.
Cash taking on Justin Terrell for the title in the cage.
And Cash's career is on the line.
Yep. It's going to be a killer show, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
All things will be real good, but like I told you earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if Mike King and JKO, if that match don't end up still on the show. You get them two together with the chemistry they have.
As long as they've been together doing what they're doing together.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think Terrell and Cash is going to be real good. Of course, Savage Love, tag team champions there. I'm sure is going to be in action. I also know a couple other people, or at least one other person is going to be there in action. I'm not going to say because I don't think Kokomo's announced it, but
yep.
So and that's going to make the card even better.
That's a top talent in Indiana. So yeah, I agree.
So yeah, there's going to be some good. There's going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to that next weekend. We have a weekend off this weekend from doing the wrestling since we're going to watch the Reds and Yankees on Sunday, but the next weekend. Right back at it.
Yep. We're gonna have a busy June too. Real busy June. Anthony had a question here. Pro wrestling is going on right now. Wants to know when the storyline between Dom and Rhea Ripley is going to end. My question is, why would you want it to? I think it's fantastic. I think Dom's got such heat right now. I don't know if he needs Rhea, and I know Rhea don't need Dom. But I think I think you'll see him separating a little bit more, and I actually think that the Judgment Day is going to be adding some people, at least one more person, to the mix. At least that's the rumor. But the relationship of the Judgment Day has made Finn Balor not a bigger star, but it's put him back in the eyesight again, where he was missing a little bit. It's made Rhea a bigger star. It's made Dom a huge star, and it hasn't hurt Damian Priest at all either. I think he's heading on his way up.
I think it's helped Priest a lot.
Yeah, so I think it's been a great thing. So I don't know.
I mean, before the Judgment Day, before the Judgment Day stuff, the last few months, would Damian Priest been in that big match at Backlash against Bad Bunny?
They might have been able to go back to since they had since they was involved together, but it was a lot easier to do it because he was involved in the Judgment Day. I agree 100%. But yeah, I like what they're doing with Dom. Right now, a lot of people ain't going to like it. The biggest heel is probably Roman, but probably the second biggest heel in wrestling right now is Dom. Dom can't, I don't know if you've seen any of it, Marcus, but go back and look at some of his stuff. He can't even get any words out for 5 minutes.
Well, you want to hear funny? We keep bringing up Reggie Edwards, but you've seen what happened when he just happened to pop through that curtain that night.
Yeah.
They see him and they start cheering or chanting Reggie sucks no matter where he's at. He has to leave the floor because they won't stop thriving on that. So
yeah, I think that I think Reggie enjoys that, but I think he kind of also enjoyed that Comic-Con because most of the fans didn't know him. So he didn't get all the Reggie suck chants.
No,
they kind of actually liked him a little bit over there. So I think he enjoyed that a little bit as well.
I want to go back to Comic-Con 1 second real quick. Did want to give another shout out. I thought, again, all the talent did great, but another guy I thought did really well was Tim. Ring announcer. I thought Tim knocked it.
Tim does a great job at ring announcer.
He came in there and giving everybody the information they needed to know. Got the crowd involved. I think Tim does a fantastic job. Probably, definitely one of the best ring announcers in this area, man. Just great. And if people are needing ring announcers for wrestling shows, if Tim's not busy, he definitely would be a plus to add to your shows.
Yeah, he does. He does a real good job ring announcing.
Well, we got a little bit of time left. I got some questions here. If you guys want to hit them real quick. Better babyface, guys. Ron Simmons or the Junkyard Dog?
JYD.
See, and I asked my grandson that question. Of course, he's 22. Okay, so take that into consideration. He liked the Junkyard Dog, though. He likes Junkyard Dog. But he said Ron Simmons, the fact that he got that world title, WCW.
You know the story behind that. He got the world title and then didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah. Whereas
JYD was a big shot in the Mid-South.
Oh, yeah.
Well before he ever became a WWF wrestler.
And he was very, very popular in the WWF, too.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big star there. I know he didn't have a belt or anything, but he was huge there. Next one, this will be interesting. I know who had the better career, but who was the better babyface, Sting or the Ultimate Warrior?
Sting. Warrior was good, but then Warrior, for longevity, Sting, because Sting's still popular.
Yeah, longevity, no. But there was a year or so there, Warrior was super hot. I don't know if was Sting ever that nuclear hot, you think? I mean, no doubt longevity.
Same way. I think if McMahon was doing it, Sting would have been hotter, but McMahon had a better way of presenting. And, those guys were going head-to-head at one time because Warrior was the champ in the WWF and Sting was the champ in the other and WCW at the same time.
What do you think, Chris? Because I know you was a big Warrior fan. You was a big Sting fan.
I was too. In fact, I like Warrior better. I mean, I've always liked Sting, but I liked Warrior during his heyday.
I don't know if you remember this or not. I think you do. My other son was a big Great Muta fan. One Halloween, he dressed up as Muta. Chris dressed up as Sting. For Halloween, spiked up the hair and everything.
You got pictures of that?
Probably somewhere.
We need
to see those.
That's a tough one because I was big fans of both of them. I'd probably lean toward the Warrior.
What about Junkyard Dog?
I'd go Junkyard Dog. Okay. I'd probably lean toward the Warrior. But man, they were both great baby faces. I was mad when they kind of took Sting out of that and done the other stuff with them because I felt like they quit using them there for so long at WCW. All they had them do was stand in the rafters with a baseball bat for so long. It was like, come on, we need.
Yeah, Kelly likes the Warrior too. She said Warrior.
It's like, come on, we need.
And that's the thing. When Warrior came to town, he actually worked. Sting, the first 3 matches I seen with Sting, he wrestled Ric Flair. Well, after a while, the fans in Indy get tired of seeing Flair and Sting.
Yeah.
And then they had a match that was a cage match. I can't even tell you who they took on. It was probably one of the worst nights of wrestling we'd ever seen. And the only reason we stuck around was because the main event was Sting in the cage, and the match lasted like 4 minutes. And it was terrible. And Indy was not used to seeing Sting in the highlights in the, when you're in the actual arena. But when the Warrior was there, the Warrior was hot. I mean, we seen him take on Sergeant Slaughter in the cage. We seen him team with the Road Warriors against Demolition. I mean, he worked while he was here.
I got to see Warrior against Earthquake in the cage, and it was awesome.
I think we've seen Warrior take on it's either Bret Hart or Ric Flair. I can't remember, but I mean, big top matches. But every time Sting come, he was against Flair, which was you'd already seen that on TV. Do the Clash of the Champions and all their major. And by the time, how many times you need to see that? I mean,
next one, better babyface, Stone Cold or Hulk Hogan?
Oh my goodness,
that's
Hogan in the 80s. I have to split it because I'm a fan of both.
It's very hard.
I just watched that Rich and Shameless thing on Hulk Hogan last night.
Oh, did you watch that?
It came on after the basketball game. When I thought I was getting a lot of work done, but none of it went through last night. It pissed me off. But anyway, while I was doing that after the NBA game that came on, and I was watching about that, it was talking about the sex tape coming out, Bubba Love Sponge, and all that.
Hogan versus.
So that's out now. That's out now. Okay, I want to make sure I watched it, but when I looked it up, they hadn't aired it yet.
They, I think, was it last night when it premiered? Or not?
It may have been.
I know they showed it twice in a row last night, so
I
figured it was a premiere thing last night. But it was good, especially if you were a Hogan fan back in the day and just kind of reliving some of that story.
What do you think of the Treasures? I don't mean to go off. Have you been watching the Hidden Treasures?
Yes, I've seen some of it. I haven't seen all.
I haven't seen the new ones yet.
Have you seen the Savage, Randy Savage?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, that's the best one I've seen, I think, out of the entire series.
I like that one.
Yeah, even Kelly said she liked that one. Okay. So, I won't run it. But, yeah.
Okay. I'll have to see that one. I haven't seen that one yet. What one was we watching the other day?
It was an old one.
Yeah, but who? Oh, it was Undertaker.
Kane looking for stuff. Yeah, that was an old one.
They did DX last week and Stone Cold the week before. Yeah.
Okay.
But I won't run them if you haven't seen
the Stone Cold one.
I haven't seen that one. Yeah, I did. I've seen the Stone Cold one.
I haven't seen none of the new ones yet. I might have to sit down and watch those.
Yeah,
those are fantastic. I love those.
Hogan, I do too. Hogan and Stone Cold are very hard because Hogan was so big and from 83, 84 to what 89, 90, 88. It was just so big, and then Stone Cold from 96 to 2000. Man, it makes it. And actually, my favorite thing from that Attitude Era was Stone Cold. So, it makes it.
It's hard for me because Hogan. I mean, I grew up a big Hogan fan in the 80s.
I think
But then I was a real big Stone Cold fan. I mean, that's one reason my son is named Austin. It's because of Stone Cold. Yeah. So, man,
I was fans of both. It's just the era it was in.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
What Austin say on that one? Because he don't like Hogan very much, if I remember correctly. So he probably said Stone Cold.
He said Stone Cold. I'm trying to remember. I think he said
because he'll always say Hogan was terrible.
I think he said Warrior, if I remember right. And then I got 3 more here. This is best heels. Better heels. Randy Savage and Jake Roberts.
Man, that's a tough one too.
It's probably Savage, not Savage. I will go with Jake.
See, I go with. It's tough, but I go with Jake too, and my grandson went with Savage.
Jake and his mind games.
Yeah, he's seen so much of Savage. Austin did, where he didn't see near as much as Jake Snake, so it's kind of hard for him to compare.
I'm gonna go with Jake, but that's another tough one for me because I was a Savage guy back in the day.
Oh, Kelly's typing it in. It's coming.
Savage.
Yep.
Hey, how's it going, Glenn?
What's up, Glenn? You lucky dog. He's going to Carb Day and the 500.
That dude wins everything.
Yeah,
I wish I had like half the work.
We all need to get together and buy a lottery ticket with Glenn part of it.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. My next better heel, I had the Freebirds or the Four Horsemen.
See, that's a territorial thing.
Yeah, so a lot of people are going to think Four Horsemen. My grandson even said Four Horsemen by far, but he didn't see the Freebirds in Texas.
That's what I said. That's a territorial.
They caused riots, in which Marcus would have loved to have been there.
Yes, I would have.
Marcus and his riots.
Hey, it's going to happen one day. You're waiting on it.
You're gonna get. I'm gonna call it. You're gonna get one next weekend in Kokomo.
Oh, is Terry Coons coming to sell shirts? Is he? I told him that Saturday. I said, that is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I did, him trying to sell shirts to Dirty Bird fans.
He should be like that one wrestler Marcus loves. He should just bring some white T-shirts and marker and put Savage Love on them.
But the thing is, though, that guy was selling them.
He sells them.
I know. I watched him at least sell two of them on two different occasions. I was over there cracking up.
Roger, it was funny because Roger was there. And he bought some. He didn't buy a shirt, but he bought some of the other merch. And next thing you know, he's over there eating corn or hot dogs. And Roger looked at me and says, "Look, I just bought his lunch." Because the minute he sold those items to Roger, then he went to the snack bar.
Chris, what do you think about the Freebirds and the Horsemen? Better heel.
I'm going to say the Horsemen, but I saw more of the Horsemen than I did.
Now, if you put the Horsemen against the Freebirds, I don't think the Freebirds would have had a chance, honestly. But it was more territorial, and I couldn't see I know Flair was in Texas, but I couldn't see that whole group being in Texas. It just wouldn't fit. Wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, that's true.
But I was a big Flair guy.
Yeah.
Arn Anderson. I was a fan of a lot of them guys.
Don't get me wrong, the Horsemen had some nuclear heat when they attacked Dusty and broke his leg and stuff. But also that when the Freebirds turned on the Von Erichs, I mean, it was a riot. I mean, there was a riot. They barely made it out alive. The Freebirds did. So
remember, the storyline guys in Texas were spot on.
Yes.
I mean, they would run that feud literally almost the entire career at WCCW.
Yes.
And yeah.
This one I thought was an interesting one. Big John Studd, King Kong Bundy.
Oh my. Probably Studd because he was more involved with Andre, and Andre was the big face, so that would put Studd the big heel. And I know Bundy had a feud with Andre, but not near like Studd did. I'm gonna go with Studd.
See, I was going with Bundy just because I seen Bundy in Mid-South and some other places, and I remember him starting out when he early started out. Of course, he wrestled in Texas at one point, and I actually seen an old picture with hair.
Yeah, and he took on Fritz at his retirement.
Yeah, but Bundy, he had that 5 count. If you remember that where they would count 3 and 0, he had made him count to 5.
Here's something you need to look up. There is a YouTube video of Dice Man wrestling Bundy. It's on YouTube. Really? Look it up. Yep.
Okay. We'll definitely have to look that up. But what do you think about Bundy and Studd? I know you've seen Bundy more.
I'm gonna say Bundy, but the reason I'm gonna say Bundy don't have nothing to do with the wrestling. It's because I took my son to see him years ago when Austin was probably 5-6 years old at the oldest, and he actually had a raffle, and if you won the raffle, you got to get in the ring, get your picture taken with them. He wouldn't get in the ring with them. He said, "No way." He was not getting in.
He was scared deaf of Bundy.
Well, where was that show at?
It was here in Muncie.
Who did he wrestle that night? Wonder if that's the night he wrestled Dice Man.
I'm not sure.
When the Golden Corral was open in Kokomo,
that was the convention center.
No, it was at Fairgrounds.
I was at the Fairgrounds. Okay.
When the Golden Corral was open in Kokomo, there was an autographed photo to Golden Corral from Bundy hanging on the wall in there.
I'm pretty sure it was at the fairgrounds, if I remember correctly. But
was it indoor or outdoor?
It was indoor.
Well, it might have been Dice because this is an indoor match.
I can't remember who he wrestled that night, but because I know it was at intermission. He came out and he got in the ring, and you got to get in there, and he put his hands up to like their head, like he was going to crush it. And Austin was not. He was not getting in that ring. I tried everything to get him in that ring. He was not getting in that ring.
Well, guys, that's all I got for tonight. And next week's topic, I talked to Marcus, and I said something to you. We're going to do some stuff on Superstar Billy Graham. Chris, you'll have to do some studying because I know you did. I don't think you ever got to see him really much at all.
Watch the Dusty matches. Go on Peacock. Watch the Dusty and Billy Graham matches.
I was on there today watching the Superstar Billy Graham. They had a like a tribute show. I think it's an older one, but they put on. It was about 30 minutes long. I watched it today, and then I watched him and Bruno, and with Gorilla Monsoon as the referee, and that was really good. That was really bloody. That was really bloody.
I hadn't seen that forever.
Yeah, I watched it today. So I went
Gorilla
back and watched
Monsoon as a referee.
Yep, he was reffing that match, and actually did I think it was a match that they videoed and then have commentary. So Monsoon did commentary for it.
Yeah,
which was interesting. He was doing the commentary and telling about, reffing the match. Why he didn't. It was interesting because why I didn't call disqualification there, because we didn't need to have disqualification. We need these guys to settle in the ring. So it was pretty interesting. It was good.
We need to talk to some of the referees and find out why. Maybe they could give us commentary on why they count during triple threat matches and
yes.
Why we get some of the rope breaks.
And then also the other topic that I talked to Mark, I don't think I've said this to you yet, was what got you hooked on professional wrestling, whether it was events, matches, storylines. Name some things that got you hooked.
You wonder why I'm trying to get rid of you. You don't run nothing by me.
You got a week. You got a week. You got a week. You didn't run by putting.
Well, actually, he doesn't have a week. He's got like the weekend because we got a late show going.
Oh, true. That's true. How do we know? You got the weekend. That's all you need. Go back to sleep.
I guess you ain't going to do it on Sunday, are you? Since you're going to be watching baseball.
That's true.
Well, at least with the baseball game, it's early.
Yeah. What got you?
The game starts like 11:30.
Yeah, 11:30. Yeah, it does start 11:30.
And you're going actually there, right?
Yep. Going to Cincinnati. See the Reds and the Yankees. But yeah, what got you?
Is that on there? Kelly just put who got her on.
Yep. Yeah, what got you?
We were dating. No, actually, we weren't even dating yet. And there was a show that came into Brownsburg, and we went to the show with my sister and some of our coworkers, and that was her first taste of wrestling. And well, then of course we started dating, and then she kind of had no choice, but I guess she did. But she went along anyway.
Yeah. What got you hooked on professional wrestling? Who, why, the events, and it can be more than one. It can be 4 or 5. I mean, things that could be storylines. It could be, anything. So hopefully some of the fans out there will participate. Yeah. Give them a couple of days to think about it, not a week. I was wrong. But yeah, we'll do that and some stuff. And I'll have some more questions. I've got some stuff here, but I'll save it for next week. Something you can think about, Marcus. Here, I'll give you some stuff to think about. I looked at a list on Bleacher Report, top 75 wrestlers. Who do you think rated higher, Steamboat or Eddie Guerrero?
Probably Eddie.
They had Eddie one above him. Who do you think rated higher, Andre the Giant or Cena?
Probably Cena.
Cena was one ahead of him. I'll go over this and give you. They had different classifications like mic work, in-ring work, stuff like that and they give numbers to get the total score. Who rated higher, Kurt Angle or Chris Jericho?
Oh man, Probably, I would say Jericho, in my opinion.
Jericho was one higher than him, and he was higher than all the other guys I mentioned. Jericho was.
You know, Jericho was solid all around. Yeah,
he was higher than Cena, Andre.
When he wanted to be,
and Eddie. He was higher than all those. But I'll go through that and how the numbers panned out on that. Maybe gets a little bit more of that, and then I'll have some more questions, and then we'll do some superstar stuff, Billy Graham, and but what I watched today was pretty interesting. I didn't realize he was such a good shot putter that maybe been good enough to if he wouldn't have flunked out of school to go to the Olympics.
And where'd you see that? Because I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was on during that documentary thing I watched today.
Is that a WWE?
Yes, it's on the.
Is it the one where he's kind of like, it's like a rainbow type cover?
I think so.
Okay, I'll watch it. I know which one you're talking about.
Yep, I watched it today. It was really good. Things I didn't know that, of course he sued. He was upset and he sued Hogan and WWE and blaming them for the steroids and stuff.
Yeah, I knew that.
Which he started steroids way before that. Did it for 20 years. And even in that interview said he'd do it again. But it was kind of weird since all the health problems he had. But they in trial, and they was going to put his wife on the stand, and his wife told him that if you put me on the stand, I'm not going to lie for you, and it's not going to go well. And so he called his lawyers up and told them, hey, let's drop this suit because I lied. So
a big man like Superstar, and they're making him take steroids. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's we'll go more into it. But Superstar was ahead of his time. He was so far ahead of his time that he belonged in the 80s, but he was big in the 70s.
Now, do you think Hammer, Ruthless Domination Hammer, kind of favors Billy Graham in the later? Yeah, I do too.
A little bit. Yeah, I agree with that. But Graham, they said that Hogan, if he would have, not Hogan, excuse me, McMahon wanted Superstar to be in that spot that Hogan had, but he couldn't hold up. And he had the issues too. He had a lot of drug issues and things. But they were kind of leaning towards that, but he just couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't maintain. And then when he came back with that karate gimmick, and it was horrible.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that next week because we could start this and start talking, and then we just shoot next week out of the water. So
that's true. That's true. I guess you need to do your research on that.
Yeah, you do, buddy.
Watch that. I tell you, a perfect thing would be to watch that show. It's about 29 minutes long, I think.
And then go look up the Dusty Rhodes. There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah. And Dusty wasn't even a WWE wrestler. They brought him in for Billy Graham for that. So,
well, and Hogan has said it, and Jesse the Body said it today. Without Superstar Billy Graham, there wouldn't be a Hulk Hogan, and Jesse said there wouldn't be a Jesse the Body Ventura without Superstar Billy Graham.
Yeah, I just wonder how far Jesse would have gone if he didn't get sick, because he had that look.
Yeah, he did.
And him and Patera, I think it was him and Patera. Maybe him and Adrian Adonis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Adrian Adonis, AWA champions, the East-West connection.
Yep.
Because then it was Patera and Jerry Blackwell was the other. They were tag champs too. So
that's true. I watched a little bit of a documentary on Dick the Bruiser. It was actually when he passed away, and it was a story that they did on Channel 6 News, and it was probably 5, 6, 7 minutes long. It was pretty cool.
I probably have it on VHS.
It was the day that he passed, and they did a nice little thing for him. It was pretty cool.
Because I got the newspaper in my collection from the Indianapolis Star. Yeah. But one day you guys will see that. I don't know when.
Well, okay, guys. Marcus, we'll go off the air, but I did want to run an idea by you that I came up with today real quick.
Right.
All right. Okay.
So everybody have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo'S Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram at Gonzo'S Sports Room as well. So we post everything about our shows. We'll be back Monday night with another episode of G.W.R. Monday at 6:30.
Yep.
And then, of course, like we're talking about next Saturday, the 27th, we'll be having some live pro wrestling, as we'll have AACW live from Kokomo, Indiana.
Yep.
I think that starts at 7.
Yeah, I think bell time 7.
If I remember correctly. We'll put out a flyer about it as soon as, probably around Monday or Tuesday. Let everybody know. We'll give you guys try to put it out about a week early, not just a couple days.
It might have it. Maybe sometime. might have an interview. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Too, I talked to both those guys too. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So I have an interview set up for that too.
Yep. We're working on that. So. Yeah, we'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, and hope everybody has a great night. Of course, I can't find the button when I need it.
Rookie, he's never done this before.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.